Okay, so welcome to the first story session of 2023. I'm very happy that we are going to be co-creating a story. It's going to start off as separate threads, the way hetero is, then somehow we'll see how it weaves into one another as we share, and then maybe something new will emerge. This is something exploratory. This is the way I would say it. I know that here you all will pronounce it in a different way, but we're exploring this. We're exploring if we can co-create a story together. So we are starting with a very personal challenge from which we derived a strength. And I thought I'd start. One of my challenges has been that I love walking, but when I came to Miami, I just couldn't bear the weather. It's hot and humid all the time. And I like to be in a place, and I was in places where I've been healthy, have been where the seasons change. And when it's winter, you have the fresh breeze on your face, and where you walk as a part of your life. You know, it's natural and normal to walk next door or to walk if you wanted to go to a nearby store. And if you had to, of course, you would take the car or you take some transport, means of transport. But here it's almost as if, I mean, you don't walk to places. So I wasn't able to keep my walks, and my health became my big challenge. My weight became my challenge. My health stayed fine. Um, so, and I'm not happy with the weight changing. And of course, I know that sometimes people would say, but this is just an excuse. If you want to walk and you like to walk, you should just walk. So all these things started troubling my mind, because naturally, sometimes the body follows the mind and sometimes the mind follows the body. And in this case, my mind was following the body, and getting distressed, getting stressed, blaming myself, wondering why I couldn't get up and just do what I just go for a walk. And then I would find excuses why not to go. I had to do look after the household. I had little children and so many reasons. Main thing was the weather, and also that I realized I liked walking with someone and not alone, which was very surprising for me, because in my childhood and youth, I loved being on my own in the garden. But here the gardens are a little different. First of all, you call them yards. And then everything was, could not adapt. Physically, I couldn't adapt. And so that was a huge challenge. And then I went to a state where I started feeling scared of my body breaking, like as I'm growing older, if something would happen, I'd say, oh my gosh, my bones will break, my arm will break. So a lot of fear also started to come. And then luckily, I found a beautiful, wonderful personal trainer, and he has helped me to understand that the best thing to do at this stage is strength training. And when I started doing, and I thought that I would have to lose weight to do strength training, because I was embarrassed, about going in front of a young man and doing my exercises. But he's so compassionate and so kind. And just from 1 month of going regularly, and then because you've committed to someone, I'll go. If I commit to someone that I have to be there, that helps me. So that was a strength which I discovered internally. And now I feel strong. I have lost my fears. I have not lost my weight. I haven't started walking regularly. That's still a challenge continuing, but I feel happy and strong. So that's my story about the I finding a strength from a challenge. Who'd like to go next? As you can see in this challenge, in this part of the story, it has to be something very personal. Doesn't involve family, doesn't involve although, as Lynn had pointed out when we met last time, and as the triangle shows us, everything is interconnected, but we can separate it out.
Okay, I'll go next, Meenakshi. I am Lynn, and my challenge turned into strength is that I reflection write daily, and that's on the computer, and it's anywhere from 5 paragraphs to 3 pages. So it's my time to just dump my thoughts on the page. And I've been doing this consistently every day for 2 years, except for I missed Halloween a year ago. So I almost made it a year. I missed that day, and now I've made it a year. So in the last 2 years, I've been at the computer writing at least once every day. And I've been struggling with that lately, wondering how long do I want to do this? And not having a day's break from the computer. But as you were saying too, Meenakshi, about the making excuses and things, I feel like, is this just an excuse for me to take a break from the writing because I'm on the computer? And so it's something that I'm struggling with. And the strength that I get from that is I keep pushing through. You know, towards the end of the night when I'm a little tired, I might have those thoughts of, you know, this is a challenge that's too much for me. But when I wake up in the morning, I embrace the streak that I'm on. And I really feel that reflection writing daily, it's become like a friend to me, a friend that I check in with. And that friend is my core self. And it's very, very meditative, very therapeutic. And it's also where I express a lot of my challenges. It's a safe place for me to be unapologetically me. Whatever I'm thinking, whatever I want to do, I can have that in that space. And a challenge with that is bringing more of that I person, that genuinely me, out into the world beyond that container that I've created in reflection writing. So that's my strengths and challenges on the mind right now.
Yeah, go ahead, White Feather. Your mic is muted.
Thank you. I did healing work for years, and I haven't been doing it. I've been just watching pets, mostly dogs, and it gives me a chance to walk, you know, get some exercise. And I like the company of animals because they're just all love. They just want to give you love. And I think I've needed and looked for that all my life, someone to just love me, who I am. And so I just sort of settled into that because it did give me what I needed. And I have a friend who isn't doing well and asked if I could do some healing work. And so I've been doing that, and I haven't done it for a long time. And it's very rewarding because, you know, it's not me doing it, it's spirit doing it through me. And so I get nourished and fed in that way. And I've been missing it without really knowing it. And so, in fact, I did it yesterday, and I feel energized, and you know, so I guess my challenge would be that I wasn't doing what really fed me, what really nurtured me as a whole, myself and my body. And this person isn't doing really well, and each time he sees a difference, and that's rewarding because, you know, some people they don't see a difference. And so anyway, it was fun. It was fun being with them and they invited me to dinner, and they have a boy that they adopted, and he's in his 20s, so he's not a little, but he's really cute. He wants me to come and stay while they're gone and be there with him. And he's just real, he doesn't have any, if he wants to ask something, he just asks it. And it's giving me, okay, who am I? Who am I in a group of people? And what am I missing out on by not having that? Anyway, so it was so I feel energized this morning. I feel good. And I feel like, oh, I'm part of who I'm supposed to be in the world right now. So that was my challenge. And now I'm seeing this need to do that.
That's great. Tree, would you like to share?
I don't think everyone can fit what the plus side is or whatever. I guess I can do other things when I'm not, and that's probably why I put that off. But I haven't really figured out the positive of it, I guess, but more than what I just said. So I guess that's all.
So I didn't get what you said was your challenge. Sorry. I think for me, it seemed as if
Say that
you're,
again.
yeah, because I think I couldn't hear.
Could you hear me now? I'm not sure how. Yeah, you guys were fading in and out. I think it's the signal here. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, yes. We can hear, but yes, it comes and goes. You freeze and then you move like that. Like right now, you're frozen.
Maybe if you turn the video off, the audio will be a little more stable.
Anyone
That's
there?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wow, the video is so clear now.
Yeah, I can't see you now. It's something wrong with my signal. You can just move on and come back to me when it gets better.
No, just speak. We could hear you now. So just say it,
Oh,
please.
I just said organization was one of the struggles, and the strength from it, I'm not really sure, except I can do other things. Maybe that's why I don't prioritize that. And that's
Yeah.
all. I don't. And I also just said I agree with everyone else about the walking part.
Now, so this is a question for us. One of the things we could do, if we feel comfortable and it's a small group, is that maybe say a little bit about, like, if Tree has not found a challenge. Tree, would you be willing, if each of us, no, you haven't found a strength from your challenge, would you be willing if each of us or some of us tell you what we feel is the strength that we see in you from your challenge, from what you have said?
Sure, anything you want is fine. It doesn't matter.
Like, I felt that your strengths from the challenges, that you have acknowledged and recognized it. It's huge. Even knowing that we don't know is fantastic, because that's the chaotic space, internal space from which a reply or something can emerge. So it's like being in the space in between, maybe just as the cocoon is about to become a butterfly, not the cocoon, but the pupa. Did anyone have anything to share what you felt could be a strength that Tree has from her challenge?
I think we don't see it in ourselves. And so it's nice to get feedback from other people, because I love you, Tree. I think you're a great, wonderful person. And I am so happy you're here, that I can actually see you while we're here. And you have a really good energy. I know there's little things within us and we feel, oh, that's not a good thing or whatever, and for whatever reason. But I just know that it's like you are the butterfly and you are going like this and you're drying your wings and you're coming out. And I'm so, there's something about you. I just love you. I just feel like you're like a kindred spirit. And I'm so glad you're here with us, with me. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you. So thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was really,
So yeah,
really sweet. Get you too.
this is beautiful, White Feather. Lynn, do you have any feeling from the challenge that Tree shared about her not being organized?
Well, I did want to piggyback on what White Feather was saying about Tree's presence, and how now we see you, Tree. And for a while I'm the newest one in the group, and I had only just seen Tree, and I was like, I wonder who the Tree person is. And, and it had been like a few months of us doing the Sunday meditations and meeting, and there was one very, like, I just get goosebumps now. Like, it was a very meditative session during Tavita's thing where we were all together. And at that time, Tree, you didn't speak that much, but you just came out, said one thing, and it was profound, and then like jumped back. And someone had said that Tree was like the big tree that holds us all together, the foundation, that strong grounding presence. And I feel it, and I'm glad to be in this group with you. And you do have that silent and strong. That's what comes to my mind. And so I did want to comment on that.
The Tree, do you have a
I know, it's
feedback?
funny. I love you because you move and I cannot still. Yeah, can you hear me now? I'm gonna try walking outside and see if this is
we
any
can
better.
hear you.
Something blocking it in the room there. Is there voice? Oh, I can see you. I couldn't even see you for a while. You're all blank. Oh wow, this is better, I think. Let me walk out to the car for a second.
Yeah, when you scroll on the phone, you can see everyone.
I love Meenakshi, but Lynn, I love the fact that you move, and you and me are like the only two that can't, like, we can, but I just admire you so much because I'm constantly moving, and especially I notice even when I'm just sitting still, my eyes are always moving. I'm just constantly moving, and I think I am uncomfortable with that, just like you are, and I didn't really know how to put words into that, but yeah, it's amazing, but it's amazing. I don't know. I just so grateful for everybody here. That's all. And thank you for sharing.
So this was a nice round. So we did the I. Can we now do the? I have a feeling that I want to skip from the us, but I won't. It's only because when we talk of family, it can become very long. So I'm going to, if it's okay, because we are 1 hour away and we have 2 things to discuss. So can we keep it that we'll watch our own clocks and we'll ensure that we don't speak longer than 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes is a lot, but there's just 4 of us, so it's okay. Okay. So now this is challenge with family from which we derived strength. Okay? So am I going first again? Or should we do it in alphabetical order?
I feel motivated to just jump in, if that's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so my strength and challenge with family, I mentioned a little bit about it earlier, about having the I work into the group. And one of the strengths that I derived from that was that I discovered this in reflection writing, I was being of a victim mindset. I was saying my family's behavior, my lack of integration in that group is their fault. I was putting all the blame on them. And I prefer to have a warrior mindset. And that's where I hold myself accountable for my actions. I recognize I have my armor on and that it's me who chooses my emotions, not someone else. To say this person is in control of how I feel, that's a victim. But to say I'm in control how I feel, I'm still myself regardless of what's going on, that's the warrior mindset. And understanding how much better I feel in the warrior mindset and how much better I get along with my family. It's strange. Once the blame is gone and I just have my armor on and lean into the situation, the interactions are much better. So that's when I start to catch myself saying, I feel this way because of this person, I switch it around and I say, I want to feel this way with this person. So I switch it from that victim to warrior. And I really focus on that. What is the outcome I want? How do I want to feel around this person? How do I want that person to feel around me? Because sometimes I can be a little sharp and I recognize that. I just blurt things out and I'm seen as insensitive. So I'm mindful of that to have balance there. And that's my us thoughts is to be the warrior and to think of what I want in the relationship and how I want to feel.
That's great. I suddenly realized one thing. To have a closure of each stage, can we put a short thing in the, in the chat? So going back again to the first one, the I, can we just write a few sentences, just like the way I've written, like bullet points? What was your challenge? What do you feel was your strength from the I? And then Lynn, after that, you write from the us. Yeah. Can each of us do that? Yeah, thanks.
Can you give me the instructions one more time?
Yeah, write, Tree, just write what was your challenge and what strengths do you feel you derived from it based on what all of us have shared, maybe. What
You
was
mean
your challenge? What is the strength?
this for basically what we just said, but just put it in
Yeah,
writing?
based on what we just said, yes. Just the physical, the I.
Is that what you were looking for, Meenakshi?
Yeah, I love it. Yes, thanks. Mm. Okay, perfect. And now we could do the us, or we'll be able to write it after everyone has spoken? Or do you want that after we speak, we put it in the chat and then go to the next person? What do you feel? I think it's okay to have a round, right?
Yes, I would say, while our brains are all in the talking and interacting, to do the talking and interacting,
Yes.
and then kind of like a reflection after to type. I
Yeah.
think that would be a good idea.
Okay, perfect. So this round we seem to be doing in alphabetical order. Is that okay? Okay. So I'm next, since anyway my mic is open. And so from the us, my challenge, actually I wrote strength and challenge, but we are doing challenge and strength. My challenge is that, well, there are always so many, and I'm trying to think. The one that I'd like to talk about is the recent one, which is that from after having lived together for many, many years, all of us, a family of 4, my husband is now living in India. My son is living in Belgrade, and I'm living with my daughter in, or she's living with me. We're still living in the family home in the US. So it didn't seem, the funny thing is that it didn't even seem like a challenge to me because of technology. We all had a WhatsApp chat. We would talk all the time. Like my son will say, "Good morning. I'm going out now. I'm working all day. Good night." Or, things like that. So you felt, and we would just talk in the middle of the day. I was working from home, so I could take one another's calls. You're more flexible when you're at home. When you're in office, you don't feel your WhatsApp may not work. And my husband, so I started saying that I have a huge house. One wall is in Bangalore in India, one wall is in Belgrade, where my son is, and one wall is in Miami. So it's a triangular house, it looks like. And people would ask me, "How are you doing without Praveen?" And I'd say, "It's fine. I never miss anyone. I don't miss him." Although when each of them left, I sobbed my eyes out. So I realized when they came back, and when we talk, we like my husband and I, we talk like transactional. Have you done this? We have to do that. We have to do this with the bank. We have to do that with the car and stuff like that. Always work oriented. And of course, a little bit of sharing, but no personal talk. I never said I miss you, and he never said, and we never say I love you. If we are beyond, I don't know. We just feel there's no need. But I realized one day when he was about to come after 3 years, I told him, we never say these words to one another. And it's such a normal thing where I live. In the US, people are always sharing love, 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 and all that. But if we've been married for 40 years, and I know him for even longer than that, since I was 21. And we realized that I realized that I had closed my heart, and so had he. And I see that now, for that reason, is showing up on my voice, because the voice is very much related to the thyroid, the heart. The energy is the heat. And when you close your heart, the physical heart, my other heart was huge, but my physical personal heart, I had to close it. Otherwise, I would be crying all the time. I suppose I thought, this was all unconscious. I didn't see the time. Anyway, I'm going to stop it. So the strength I derived from that was the understanding that this is what I have done, and I'm not going to let it go this time when he's gone back. And they were all here for 2 or 3 months, and now they've all gone back. And this time I'm going to stay with my personal, very close physical person, which is very tough for me, but I will do that. Thank you. Free, you're next.
I'm trying to think. So it's
From
we're
your
doing
family,
the family, and that's the weakness of the family.
the challenge you felt, and from when you knew the challenge, what strength did you derive from it?
And I guess the current challenge I'm having is like basically, I don't know how to say it, keeping the family together is what I'm thinking, but it's not more than that. Just people like to put up walls, and I don't really understand it, and it confuses me. And it's like especially of those simplest things, I swear. Somebody sent a text message to someone else and it's just like, oh, I'm just going to block them. And I'm there like, why would you block them? They just said you don't come over enough or something. It's just like one little statement. It was like, what are you talking about? But people do seem to put up the walls. I guess that's so. I guess that's probably it. That and I don't understand it because I've never blocked anyone in my entire life. So it's just like confusing to me. And I guess it's the walls and people trying to separate from other people, and that confuses me. And I keep thinking, if we all work together, we'd all be a lot happier. And I keep trying to get, help each other and that kind of stuff. So I guess that's the challenge, and the strength from that would be, I guess, if lack of separation. Once we can get all back together, I don't, and but people get scared. I guess they get scared, and just like you said, like in kind of closing your heart, where that might be fear of being hurt, that kind of thing. So I think it's the same kind of thing, but in a different way. I guess I'm done, so someone else can go. Thank you.
Well, that's interesting because I feel like I'm a lot of tree. I'm a lot like what she's saying. And from a young age, I felt I had no one that knew me. Nobody knew me and they didn't want to know me because I was different. And so I had two brothers. I was in the middle. And so I spent a lot of time in my room. I loved records, so I listened to my records. And when I was 3, I told my mom I wanted to dance. And so she started giving me dancing lessons. So it was like I found things, or spirit gave me a voice to say, this is what I need to do for me to feel like almost part of the world, not just my family, but just to be doing something that nurtured me that I wasn't getting from anywhere else. And, and I did that my whole life. I just followed spirit. Every 7 years, my life changed. Spirit guided me to these different things. And when my mom died 10 years ago, my brother came and helped. I was taking care of her. And he came and helped on the weekends so that I could get away and have some alone time. And one day he said, Mama's really mean to me. And he said, it really hurt me. And I said, that's how I've been treated my whole life, Walt. And we both cried and hugged each other. And, we were not connected at all growing up. We were just not connected. And that brought us together in a way that nothing else did. And we have a wonderful relationship. And see, so eventually what I got from it is nobody knew, and they probably wouldn't have understand if they did. And it was time for my brother and I to heal and to be family. And so that's what I have now. And I'm, through all the things I went through, I'm grateful that I have him, in my life, and he understands me because he experienced it. Because you really don't know what somebody else is going through unless you have an experience. So that was my strength and challenge, I guess, that I knew what I needed for my life and I asked for it, but I also needed my people in my life, and I have it.
Great. So now let's write. So wonderful to read everyone's challenges and strengths. So now the last challenge and strength is our place in the world and our relationship with the larger community. And it could be a neighborhood, it could be the world, it could be however we define our the third aspect of us, which is, you know, the, and in this case, it could be the I or the us. Sometimes it could be the family in a neighborhood having a challenge, or sometimes it could be the I in the world. So whichever way we want to share it, it's okay. So shall we go the other way around and have White Feather go first? White Feather Tree Meenakshi Lin.
Okay. And so this is with the world, my relationship with the world,
Yeah.
right? I guess my relationship with the world was that most people didn't understand me, who I was. So I didn't feel like I had a connection to them. They didn't understand me. And I don't know that I didn't understand them. I just felt not part of the world at most of my life. It was, I followed spirit and I did my life according to what came to me. And I noticed when I was doing the healing work that I was given, the information that the universe sent, people came to me that needed what I had, or that, you know, needed to hear it or be part of it or whatever their part in it was. And it was finally a chance for me to feel like I was appreciated and was, what I had to offer was beneficial and useful to people. And so and you know, I didn't really realize it until after it was all sort of done, what occurred, you know, the process that it occurred in, and that I saw where if by going where I was asked to go, you know, like moving to a different place or being around certain people, that it brought for them what they were looking for. So, you know, spirit bringing us together with our place in life, with the people that I needed to come in contact, and that they were happy to have me in their life. And it was a really huge growing time because I never really felt like that before. And so anyway, I just looked back on it and saw all these people that came to me, and not me as a person, but what spirit had to offer. Were all very successful people in what they were doing in Colorado there, when I looked back on it. And so I was appreciative for listening and for following my path, and for just the whole unfolding like a flower, or a, you know, the butterfly that comes out of the cocoon, you know, its wings are open and full and in life. And so I got to see that. Spirit showed me that. And, so I think some people think I haven't really succeeded or done things, but I feel like I did what I was asked to do in life, and it was very rewarding. And so now I'm on another journey. It changes. So I'm grateful.
So Trina, and you could talk about something recent or something life, throughout life, as White Feather said, whichever way you would like to say. A challenge you feel with you and the world, or your family and the world, and your strength.
I guess the things I was just thinking of was I just start talking because I'm not really sure. It was the separation part, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe sometimes people feel like they need to separate to get closer or something. I'm not sure. That's a balance there too, I suppose. And then I also noticed that even within the family right now, there's some people that seem to be ill, and I'm wondering if that is helping them separate less. I think we have said that in medicine Reiki groups before there, where sometimes, yeah, I think I remember now, when people are ill, sometimes they'll pray more or they'll get more spiritual. In this case, I think it's more, they feel maybe less self and more others. So there's less separation. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
So just to be clear, Teresa, you're saying that your challenge is understanding family dynamics. Okay. And the strength is, I guess, that you did derive some sort of understanding. Okay. So, it's me next. So what I feel, I think I'll also just talk about me and the world. So I felt from, and I'm going to go with the way White Feather did of childhood. I'm actually going to go with a recent challenge of me with the outer world. So one of my recent challenges is wanting to know where I should physically be. And of course, it's related to the family. Should I physically live in the US or in India or in between or somewhere else? I have a day job here, and that's one of the reasons why. So I was confused. Recently, I was confused because also there was something in the family that was pushing me into being in India, and there was a push and a pull going on. And I got very confused. I didn't know how to think. And I had one evening of wondering, because one of the reasons I like being here is because I love the community we have. In my person, like even right now, the door is open because somebody is going to come in, and we're going, because she's buying things for a Monaiki ceremony we're going to have tomorrow. So it's such a beautiful feeling of family. I mean, we call ourselves family, friends who are family. It's a very wonderful connection, and I don't want to lose it. I also know that that everything will happen. The heart of me knows, inside me, I know that the universe has placed all of us here. All of us here who are very close to one another never wanted to be here, never wanted to live here. And we realized that we were brought here just so we could connect. And we're not going to be here forever. All of us will go away. And because of having met so closely, knowing one another's energy signature, just literally we are in a ceremony, I think something and the other person does it, we are that close because we have met in such deep spiritual ways. I know that we will be able to continue this connection regardless of where we are physically. So when everything like that came, the strange thing is that my challenge, I realized, was actually coming from the I. So it circled back to the I. And the strength I derived was also from feeling. Instead of thinking what's good for the world, what's good for the family, I'm going to say what makes me happy. And for me, the interesting thing was that's what gave me the peace of mind and the understanding of what I needed to do. Very surprising for me, because I had always started my childhood and my life with thinking about others and the world. So that was for me the strength. Now, can we all write?
Meenakshi, I think I skipped this round. I don't believe I went
You're
yet.
so right. You're so right. You're Lynn. Yes, Lynn. Yes, we were going the other way. Sorry. Lynn, go
Yes,
ahead, please.
yes, that's okay.
Yes, yes.
And so when even this little misstep, it feeds into what my me into the world is that I'm very like like the sage, kind of like the hermit. I kind of am off in my own little cabin in the woods, and I'm happy there with the animals and with the spirits and the energy, and integrating in with humans and like bringing the soul into this plane, this lifetime, this existence of being as me, Lynn, because I felt I've been other things in other lifetimes, in other timelines. There's so much going on. And to ground myself in this life as Lynn, interacting with others is a challenge for me. And I've been doing Zooms, and I had my first presentation where I'm connecting more. And that's the challenge for me, is connecting. And even now, I had an opportunity to just kind of retreat. If I was skipped, then I didn't have to share. I could just be in my own nest, but I spoke up. And I feel that's what I need to do moving forward. I need to speak up. I need to host my own Zooms. I need to get out there. I need to leave the safety of my cabin, because there's other people like, perhaps the people in this group that feel similar, that it's a big challenge to get me, who I am as a human in this life, to connect with my soul, and then to gather all that up and connect it with other people in a loving and authentic way. It's a challenge. So the strength I derive from that is just going forward and speaking up and doing events like this and putting it into practice. So that's my goal, is to get my soul, my human, and put them out there and enjoy with others.
That's beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Sorry I skipped you, Lynn. Let's write now. But I think it was needed for that to emerge. We could take a little break if needed, but I think all of us have been taking it when we need, right? So, so now we're going to do the co-creation. We have 15 minutes to do that. So the co-creation is finding where our stories weave into one another. And I think the 2 or 3 ways which were in my mind. One was that we could share what we felt about the sharing of each one. In a way, White Feather and Lynn already did that when we were doing it by saying what they felt about tree in general, you know. But either we could do it that way, or we could pick up, each of us can pick up what were the common threads we found with the stories, all 3 stories of each person, and that's it. So that would be enough also. So who would like to go? This could be a pop-up round, so anyone could do it first. What did you find? And be specific, please, so that what did you find in common with all of us, with each of us, and like that.
I think that for me, the general thing might be just like getting out of fear and getting into love.
Mm. Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. We could have short bursts of conversation. We could also all have our mics on so that we can, sometimes, I don't know about you, I know that it's good to speak one by one, so everyone, but it's also sometimes nice for everyone to just sort of, like a normal conversation, just pop up, speak together, it doesn't matter.
I just wanted to say with Lynn, she's younger than we are, obviously. She's a sweet spirit. And these new children that have come in and that are here bring us a valuable lessons, and they don't even know it yet. And you are coming, but you're blossoming, and it's so neat to hear you speak, because my grandson's 21 and he is just, I mean, he's my grandson, so sad. Of course, he's the neatest kid in the world, but he works with special need kids. And I just always encouraged him to find something to do in his life that he loved, because he's going to have to be doing it for a long time, till he retires or whatever. And when he started high school, I'm sorry, not high school, after high school, college, they gave him a piece of paper of all the jobs that were available in his area. He goes, I know what I want to do, Inchi. And I said, what? And he goes, I want to work with kids. And that is who he is. He works with special needs kids, and he is so good at it. They love him. He's in his element, and that's what I see in you. You're bringing forth your gift of, this is who I am in the world. This is what I want to bring. And it's meaningful for what we're going through, what's happening in the world. And because I really feel like we're lifting each other up. We're bringing our gifts, and, me being the crone and whatever, I've lived a life and I have something to offer. And so we all are finding our niche. We're all finding that place in our place in the world, and what that means of our contribution and our giving to the world. And so thank you all of you for the part that you're playing, that we're playing in our evolution right now.
And Thank you, White Feather, for those kind words. And, you glowed when you spoke, and I felt a lot of positive energy. And that's a really good reminder for me that when I'm just by myself, I don't experience that. But when I take a risk and speak up and share my gifts and am authentically me, I get rewarded with positive, like feel good experiences like today's meeting and your comments. So thank you. And I agree with you that a big part of we have a very special container here, and we all give each other positive energy. We all really want the best for each other. And I think that really comes out in how we interact with one another and how we feel doing these co-creator events.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking that even the things that I haven't spoken have been spoken by you all, different aspects, like Tree talking about family members blocking one another. The White Feather speaking about how she felt that nobody understood her. Lynn talking about how feeling that way, you decided, instead of feeling in the victim way and thinking others don't understand me, I realized that I may not understand them. You got into the warrior way. And I'm thinking of a ceremony in which the ceremony leader kept saying, you don't know, and that thing, I just love those 3 words, because when we want to feel comfortable in the world and good about ourselves, we want to feel I understand and they don't. But it's so freeing in a way to understand that if I don't have a good, if I'm uncomfortable in any area of my life, it's because I don't know how to make it comfortable. Because then it makes me feel I can do something about it. And I just have to learn and be open and get all the tools. And that's what I see from our conversation here, because each of us also shared, although Tree shared very little about the strengths that she has and the work that she does, but I know it because I know her from Medicine Reiki. How well you talked about organizing, Tree, and yet how beautifully you used to organize those full moon and new moon and different ceremonies on the Yahoo group, So I do see that the very challenge that you have is actually your strength, and that's why maybe you're just finding it a problem right now. And I have the same, organizing the stuff around me. So I found so many common threads among one another. And I also found things that helped me to learn. And from what White Feather said to Lynn about being young and overcoming, and then you said about being a hermit, Lynn, because that was me. I was like a hermit. I wouldn't speak in front of anyone, and look at me now. I'm just so different. I find it weird if I'm in a group and I'm not called upon to speak. I can't believe that's still me. I really am a walk-in. I feel I'm a walk-in into this life. Yeah. So who else is finding common threads? What did you feel about this format and what we did today? I mean, we could have, or shall we write? Because we all have spoken. Shall we write something in the co-creating?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think we're all part of the walk-in group. Because that's what we're here for now. What you were saying, Meenakshi, who you are, we're finally realizing who we are and what gifts we brought.
I actually knew from my childhood who I was. I was very aware. I came very awake, but I was a different personality than I am now. Completely different personality.
Well, that's
So
what
I'm a walk-in into my own life.
Yes, and I felt like that too. When I was 3, and I could sit down and sew on a sewing machine, and I could do all the what 3-year-old does that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying we came to
yeah. like when people, Lynn has asked what is a walk-in. So the way I'm talking about me being a walk-in is that the way it's described is that it's as if another being entered this personality. There's a personality called Meenakshi. There was one being here, and that being may have left. In a way, it's almost like a death, you know, because the personality that I'm now is so different. At the same time, you could call it an awakening. I woke up more. I woke up to become more grounded, as you were saying, Lynn, more able to come out of being in that hermit mode, in that mode where I realized that the world could hurt and harm me because I didn't think of myself as human. You know, I didn't think of myself as a child. I was always very, very grown up in many ways. And even when I was a child, people would, grown-ups would come and tell me all their issues and problems and stuff like that. And I knew that I shouldn't be talking about them to anyone, you know, I would keep their confidence. But in spite of that, uh, 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 maybe it was just literally a growing up. And maybe that's what growing up really means. When we grow up, we become, it is the cocoon and butterfly that I mean, the pupa and the butterfly we've all been talking about. When you come out of your cocoon. So maybe it's not really a walk-in, but a walk-in traditionally would have meant that when you started life, you were one soul in this body, and then that soul left at some stage and another soul entered. So truly, I don't really think I'm a walk-in. I really think that I just woke up. I'm a woken, but not a woke person. That my children tell me is a no-no. And I feel that all of us have come from, you know, when people talk about aliens and ETs and I'm from this planet, all of us are from other planets. We've all come to Earth, but we've just come at different times.
Yeah, I came from Pleiades.
Yeah, I feel I'm from Arcturus, but I feel I came through Pleiades also. No, yeah. And a long time, and I came a long time ago. I came as I was with the elements of Earth. I started realizing that in NaNoWriMo. Lynn, do you do NaNoWriMo?
The writing for November, I've done it once.
Yeah.
I thank you for reminding me of that. It is a great idea.
Yeah, because I did it, I think 2 or 3 times, and such amazing characters came. And I used to, in my childhood, I would write little snippets of stories, and I would say, one day I'll flesh them out. And one day I realized that they were my stories. They were my memories of my past lives. Because they're so real and clear to me. And I wrote them when I was 9 and 10, but I still remember them. I mean, I never forgot those, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's very powerful, as you're saying, with the NaNoWriMo, which is to write, you know, essentially a whole book in 1 month. It reaches back to the subconscious, because it's just writing it. It becomes like automatic writing. And
yeah, no planning.
Yes, there's, I think, a lot of beauty in writing from the subconscious, and a different level than being very conscious and meticulous.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't suit me because I was in writers' workshops, and they said you should have an understanding of each character, you should write it out. And maybe for the next step, I'll do that. But the first step of just letting things flow was just so amazing. She's saying, keep spirit of relationship most important, be kind, do best, little things are remembered. Yeah.
You know, Lynn, I don't know how old you are. Are you under 30?
I'm 41.
Oh, you are. You're okay. So you're a little bit older than I thought. But and I think you're included in that, because that's, you have this, the energy of it, that a lot of them have, a lot of the younger people, like my grandson and stuff, I don't think they've ever been to the earth before.
Yeah.
Their DNA is different. They have more DNA. They have larger heads. They have a knowledge that they're bringing to the earth that we didn't have. We weren't ready to have that gift. And he's, and I can see, when I made him pajamas when he was little, I had to cut it the hole bigger and make it fit over my head to fit on his head when he was little. And you can see it. I mean, they have, it's just, and their DNA is different. They have more DNA, and a lot of them have not been here before. And that's their gift. Their gift is to, and it's interesting because a lot of them get criticized for who they are instead of knowing that they're not here to be just like we are. That's not who they are. They are different. And I just am so appreciative. I'm so appreciative of what Spirit gave me to tell him so he could find a profession. He stuttered when he was little, a lot. And so he knows what it's like to be in a classroom and you can't get out what you want to say and how that feels. And so he can give that to the children that he's working with. They're all special needs children. And he's just so good with them. He just is perfect. That's, and I just tried to say, do what you love. And he found it. And that's all the guidance he needed. But yeah, they're just, you're all amazing. We were amazing in our way and we brought gifts, but
We are, not were, are.
yes, we are. But each generation brings something new. And that's,
They are here because we were here. We came,
yes.
that is really the oneness.
Yeah.
They could come because so can we say what the common threads we found? Just we could bulletproof or just sort of say, and then we can close. What are the common threads you found in
Love over fear.
in challenges or strength? Sorry, what did you say, Tree? Can you just write it?
Or just, oh, sure, love over fear. That's nice.
Oh, love over fear. Mm-hmm. Well, what I got from all of this is that we all came in with these immense gifts, and through our life, we just sort of did them, not realizing it, not realizing totally what that meant until this is my experience, and I think people that in my generation, but I don't know, like I didn't know who, I just knew that Spirit was talking to me and I did what Spirit asked. I'd always done that. And I thought everybody was like that. I didn't think I was different or anything. I just thought that's what everybody did. And then as I became an adult, I realized that those were the gifts that I was, brought and were given. And we all have some gift that we're bringing, and it's realizing it and utilizing it. And, like doing my work with that person yesterday, he was laying on his back and he said, I don't think I can lay on my back. And I said, well, just try to relax. And so he slept the whole time. And he goes, I did? And you know what I mean? It's like, so we're just finding ourselves. We're finding ourselves. And it's wonderful.
I really like that way, Feather, the finding ourselves. I think that is a common thread that really has interwoven us today, and talking about strengths and challenges, and who we feel we are and who we feel we want to be. So I think that was also another theme today, that transition, as Meenakshi was saying, the cocoon to the butterfly, making those big changes, also the awakening, coming out, finding ourselves, those themes I see interwoven with us.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
the white feather, I wrote what you said. I mean, just the common theme,
Oh,
because we were writing. I just was requesting if everyone can write over.
oh, do I need to write more?
Oh, you
No.
don't need to. It's fine.
Oh.
I wrote for you, finding ourselves.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how would we like to close these stories? The story sessions, like the intention sessions we would do with the gratitude. We can still do the gratitude lotus, but now all of us are creative and inventive people, and I would like us to co-create a closing of these sessions, which we'll do every month.
Meenakshi, one time you did, you led us through like a movement, an exercise, and I think it was similar to the triangle you spoke about in the beginning, the movement. I enjoyed that. I
Okay.
liked that.
Okay, so because was it standing up and doing it?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So was it pretty long?
Um,
Not
I
very.
I think
Okay.
it was, but I would say condense it or just do what
Yeah,
feels
we can do a little like that. So I always like gratitude, and we could even do it in standing and as a gratitude, you know. So when we're to, okay, so Tree, can you come online? Are you okay or not? Okay. And let me, well, anyway, the fan will be seen. Okay, so let's just breathe into ourselves, into the soul that we are, into the oneness, the center, the one that's connected with all that was, all that is, all that will be. And from this timeless self, from the essence of the soul, emerges the I, the oneness. And as it does so, let us feel it in our movement, and let us let our arms just go up. This is I, this is me, this is the baby. And the sound is ah, and let's do it together. Ah. And then as we are born and we are with the family and we become aware of our connection, let us allow our palms to meet with Mother Earth, connecting with all our ancestors whose ashes are within her, whose bones are within her, whose physicality is within the Mother Earth. And as we do this, the sound is O. O. And then we are connected infinitely with the I, with the family, and with the whole world. And as we do this, we say the mantra A, and automatically the smile arises. We are in a smile world. We are in a neutral world. We are in a world where the I and the us become the we, the oneness of the soul. And as we come back into ourselves, we are now expanded. We now have the memory that the soul and the human are working together. The soul is working through the humanity that we have adopted in this world. And so we make the mantra. Mm. And to close, we'll say the whole mantra together, which is the creation mantra. And it is A, O, A. A, O, A. A, O, A. A, O, A, A. O, A, A. O, A. O, A. O, A. O, A. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meenakshi. I enjoyed that very much. I really appreciate the movement and that's my favorite of the closings we do.
Okay. Yeah, each time we can co-create it in a different way. I'm just writing who has created this and has given it to us. He said it's the sound of the universe. So, and if you were in Miami, we are having a retreat on and doing all these things in the end of January. Lynn, maybe you might come. Let me close the recording.